This is the 25th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. In 1995, after the bombing, Oklahomans rushed in to provide whatever support they could, building neighborhood triage centers, providing food to fire and rescue crews, and extending a hand to those who were suffering. These acts of kindness gave us comfort and a sense of community during a very tough time. This became known as the Oklahoma Standard. As our way of honoring these acts of kindness, the Oklahoma City Dodgers Baseball Foundation will feature 25 people or organizations that exemplify the spirit of the Oklahoma Standard today. Our goal is to amplify their good works and inspire others. As Oklahomans adjust to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are encouraged and inspired by our neighbors doing good works. This week, we'd like to recognize Oklahoma City Metro Technology Centers.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us as we celebrate another wonderful act of kindness. With me today, I have representatives from the Oklahoma City Metro Tech Center. Can you guys just tell us who you are, what your position at the school is, and we'll go from there. Stephanie, could you start?
You bet. Well, hello, everybody. Stephanie Bills. I'm the Associate Superintendent of Metro Technology Centers, and it is an honor and a privilege to be here and representing Metro Tech.
Hi, I'm Janet Portwood, and I am a pre-engineering teacher at the Metro Tech STEM Academy, and I teach 3 engineering classes to high school students who think they want to be engineers and want to pursue that as a college career and our college option. And so they come to us for half a day and take their engineering and math classes with us and get exposed to all kinds of different engineering careers.
Hi, I'm Ethan Collins. I'm in her engineering classes. I go there for half a day from my sending school, and I study pre-engineering. I learned quite a lot. I learn every class period. I learn more and more. So I'm just very grateful to be in that program.
Well, thank you all for joining us today and talking to us about the project that we want to recognize you for. So you've been making bands for healthcare workers to help customize their masks and make them more comfortable. Can you tell us, Janet, a little bit about that project?
Okay, so early on in this situation, we became aware of the fact that healthcare workers were experiencing pain with their ears as a result of having the mask around their ears the entire time for long periods of time. And so we looked at options for creating a band that would relieve that pressure on the ears. And we came up with a design that looks like this. And it gives healthcare workers the option to expand or tighten the bands with different locations. And it has our name written on it. And we reached out, our healthcare director, Shauna Blackburn, had some contacts and reached out, and we found people that needed these. And so we started producing them as fast as we could. Ethan, along with another student of mine, has a 3D printer at home. So I reached out to them quickly, and they said, yes, we would be glad to start printing those as well. And to date, we've made over 3,000 of these bands and have distributed them to various people, along with healthcare workers that we knew. We reached out to our Metro Tech families, and some of them had family members that were in the healthcare industry and needed these as well. So we've mailed them to them as well. And so they've made it all over the place.
Wow, 3,000, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. Then what does it mean to you to have been part of this project?
I mean, it means so much. Really, before this whole thing began, my printer was kind of sitting idle. I mean, it kind of sits there until I have a project I'm working on, but it kind of gave me something to really just keep it going 24/7 and to learn a little bit more about it and to tune my settings and everything, and really to just have the satisfaction of helping others. So overall, it's just been a really positive experience to see they come off, me help them be manufactured, and then me holding them and taking them to the distribution center. So it's been really incredible, actually. I've had a really good time just contributing however I can.
That's awesome. Stephanie, how proud are you of?
Oh, super proud of our teachers and students. One of the things that Ethan said at the word idle, I think that's really kind of what resonated with the leadership here. We closed down the schools and we asked the teachers to do remote learning. And so we were asking the teachers to do quite a bit already. And so, but I think we were sitting on the sidelines watching the pandemic and watching the frontline workers struggle. And so I felt like that we all wanted to get out there and help them, but because of our closure in the situation that the schools are in right now, we just felt like that there was a project out there that we could take advantage of. We did have the Dremel machines, and I really want to commend Miss Portwood and her family, because she moved the Dremel machines into her home and was willing to do that as well as run her classroom remotely. And so I think she saw the opportunity to really bring in the students and help them also feel like that they're a part of it. And so I felt like that together, Metro Tech was able to really respond to a need that our community really was calling for. At the timing was perfect for us to move forward with a project such as this. So super proud of them.
Well, and you moved really fast to just go from, in the last 60 days or so, to going from a classroom setting to an at-home setting and producing over 3,000 of these. That's just nothing short of amazing, and with 2 3D printers. And, that's going from idle status to that kind of output is just very impressive. And you all should be very proud of the work that you're doing, for sure.
I think one thing that I would mention about that too is, Career Tech has been around for decades. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is being responsive to the industry needs. So it is our element to be responsive to critical needs such as this. We're usually responding in a way to create workforce development and help companies fulfill their needs as far as staffing. So it really isn't out of our element to be that responsive. We just were able to move in a different direction, supporting our community as we move to mitigate health risk for our frontline healthcare workers. So Career Tech responds once again.
That's great, and you're absolutely right. What would you share with folks at home that are watching this as maybe a way for them to be that responsive or for them to get involved? Do you have any words of advice?
Sure, you bet. One of the things that we say at Metro Tech is that we are better together. And I do think that it was a collaborative effort. Being able to reach out to our industry partners and to ask them what it is that they needed, I think was really a critical component. And so, I think that there is ways to be supportive and helpful to those in need. We just have to be willing to ask. And so I think if there's one thing that I would encourage people to do is to reach out to your community partners and see what kind of support you can lend at this time, because we're always willing to be ready, able, and helpful, but we just have to be willing to ask the question and be willing to respond.
And what about you, Janet?
And sometimes there's things that seem like they're really simple, but they make a big difference to people. Because if you had asked me 3 months ago if making a little band like this would make that big of a difference in a person's life, I would have said no. because I didn't understand. And the number of times that I've dropped these off and the amount of gratitude and thanks I've gotten just as a result of providing something this simple is amazing. And so I think that goes to show it doesn't have to be a huge act. Little acts of kindness make a difference.
Absolutely. How about you, Ethan? What would you tell students that want to get involved and maybe don't know how? How would you ask them to get engaged or encourage them?
There's many different levels of engagement, but I'd say who else, the other students that have a printer or have access to a printer, there's a whole community going on the website Thingiverse, and there's a whole group on YouTube that are making these bands and mailing them out to first responders and other local businesses and stuff. So whoever else has access to a printer, I implore you to seek out those needs and to try and get a hold of somebody and try and contribute. But besides that, I'd say do whatever you can. Like some people are making masks out of fabric. So kind of whatever your skill level is, just try and just find what you can do.
That's great advice. What are your plans for the summer?
Work. I'm just gonna work and design stuff. I've got a couple projects going on right now. So I actually have two printers. I have one that's just doing the masks, and I have another one that I use for my other projects. So I have a lot that I'm designing and playing with. So
Ethan is
super productive.
Ethan is definitely a entrepreneur. He has been using his printers now since I've known him, and he comes to school with different things that he's created and built and printed on his printer, and he tries out different things all the time. And he definitely has a very bright future.
I sure hope so.
I would probably, just within these few minutes that we've met, I would agree. He seems like he's a superstar for sure.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you all joining us today to learn a little bit about all the good works that Oklahoma City Metro Tech is doing. And until next time, next act of kindness, we'll see you. Bye.